An independent economic forecaster has suggested that the Prime Minister's Brexit deal would leave the UK £70 billion a year worse off than if it remained in the EU. The study concluded that in 10 years' time, the economy would be 3.5% smaller than it would have been otherwise. Our economics editor, Faisal Islam, has more details.
Here at the Treasury, they chose not to do an economic impact study of the deal struck by the Prime Minister with the European Union, even though they do have the computer model to do so. The Chancellor is saying it is self-evidently in our economic interest. While other independent economists have run the numbers, including the National Institute for Economic and Social Research. Like almost all other economic models, this report concludes no deal would lead to a weak economy over the decade. The new Johnson deal comfortably beats no deal in terms of the size of the economy by over 2%. This is the point the Chancellor was making. But compared to the status quo, remaining in the EU, that performance is a hit to the economy of 3.5%. The National Institute also says the Johnson Brexit deal would be a notably worse outcome even than continuing chronic uncertainty, and actually slightly worse than the deal from Theresa May it then changed. So what's driving all that? That 3.5% figure isn't about the economy being smaller than it is today, it's about lost growth versus the status quo, worth £70 billion per year permanently, and that's the equivalent of over £1,000 per person. So on the upside, we no longer pay the billions to the European Union for membership, and there's the capacity to sign free trade deals around the world. That is a slight boost to the economy, but in and of itself it's outweighed by the extra frictions on trade with Europe. The National Institute also predicts a hit to investment from abroad, that there'll be fewer European workers, and that less investment means that our companies are less productive. Overall, a hit to the economy of 3.5% in a decade's time. Inside the Treasury, they disagree with these calculations and say they can do better than a basic free trade agreement, but they haven't shown their numbers. Faisal Islam, BBC News.